Welcome to Cue the Real. I'm your host, Lindsay Brand. I manifested the life of my dreams and was living the high life until I was fired in the middle of a health crisis. That moment flipped everything and rewrote my life. Through my journey, I found my way back to a different high life, one deeply aligned with what I truly desire. I've learned how to navigate stuck spaces, and now I'm here to show you how to turn life's chaos into opportunity. Welcome to the show, everyone. There comes a point in life where the universe stops sending subtle signs and just sets your whole life on fire. Slowly but surely, everything in life feels like it's falling apart at once. Your relationships, your finances, your job, anything you care about is up in the air. It's extremely uncomfortable, and that's why it's the part many people don't talk about. It is a quantum recalibration, which is the equivalent of a forest fire. It burns everything in its path. Seems super destructive, right? But what it really does is enrich the soil with ash. It allows sunlight to reach the ground and gives seeds the heat they need to sprout. Life does the same thing. When everything feels chaotic, your energy is shifting. The version of you that couldn't hold this next level is being cleared away and space is being made for something stronger to grow. I've been through this myself. I'll be sharing my story today, the moment my life felt completely upended, and how that chaos cleared the way for a version of life I couldn't have imagined before. That's what we'll be getting into today. Let's cue the real. Let's break down exactly what a quantum recalibration looks like when it shows up in your life, so you can see it, name it, and lean into it with trust instead of panicking. The first sign is that life starts feeling different in ways you didn't expect, in ways that seem unreasonable. Things that once ran smoothly suddenly are driving you nuts. Your routines are getting messed up and plans are all over the place. It's confusing at first because you feel like you've done everything right, quote unquote, and yet nothing lines up the way it used to. Your emotions also get louder. Old frustrations, fears, or long-buried grief starts to surface, and you might find yourself snapping at people you love or crying at little moments that never made you feel anything before. Or maybe even obsessing over situations that never mattered to you previously. This is your inner system rewiring, letting you release what no longer serves you so you can make room for the next version of yourself. Then there's the way your old patterns show up. The habits, relationships you thought you left behind creep back in. Maybe you reconnect with someone who used to drain you, or you catch yourself thinking in ways you promised you wouldn't. You don't have to fight those things. They're just revealing what needs attention before the new growth can fully take hold. And lastly, life starts moving at a rhythm that feels chaotic but intentional. Breakthroughs and setbacks show up almost side by side. One day a new opportunity lands in your lap. The next day something you counted on disappears. It's super unsettling, but there's a part of you that knows it's necessary. And when you notice that rhythm, the wildly extreme ups and downs, the unexpected openings and sudden losses, you start to realize that there's a way to move through it without getting swept away. The first thing to know is that you don't have to force anything. You're not broken, you're not failing. The old version of you is simply stepping aside, and that feels messy because your life is literally rearranging itself. The best move here is to lean into the process, even when it's uncomfortable. Start by noticing instead of resisting. When an old pattern or old habit shows up, see it, name it, acknowledge it without judgment. Let it show you what's ready to change. Next, give yourself permission to slow down. This isn't the time for overachieving or pushing against the chaos. Your energy is busy reshaping itself. So simplify where you can. Let the small, non-essential things slide for a bit and protect your attention and your space like they're sacred. Reflection helps too here. Journaling, walking, or even just sitting with your thoughts can help you notice patterns you might otherwise miss. Ask yourself what's trying to leave your life. What habits or ways of thinking no longer serve you, and what feels alive and worth keeping? These questions aren't about immediate answers either. They're simply about being aware. Finally, hold space for trust. Trust the process, trust the timing, and trust yourself. You're moving toward a version of life you haven't fully stepped into yet. If you keep leaning in, noticing, and making room, the chaos eventually starts to feel like a rhythm rather than a storm. It feels like your new baseline for being. And I understand how all of this can feel abstract when you're hearing it for the first time. It's easier to understand when you see it in real life. So let me tell you what it looked like for me. In May of this year, 2025, I was going through a health crisis. I had pernicious anemia for about 5 months, and I was starting to hate my job. I couldn't keep up with the workload, and the work I was given didn't really fulfill me anymore. So one day, out of pure frustration, I literally looked up at the sky and asked the universe for something different. A few days later, after I asked to go part-time so I could keep up while still having an income and health insurance to figure out how to treat what was happening to me, I was fired. We had just moved into our dream home that we built, and we weren't sure how we were going to be able to pay for it. It felt like the floor disappeared beneath me. Everything felt uncertain. Everything. I started making spreadsheets of plans, contacting everyone I knew for work. I wasn't sleeping at night. I was living in absolute chaos. Then, after about 2 weeks, something shifted. Everything settled in a way that made me notice the clearing that had happened in my life. I went inward to find out what I truly wanted as this new version of me, and it became clear. I wanted to get my voice out there about how to live the life you actually want and to show people that you have the power to create change. The power to get out of any situation and into a better one if you really want it. Now I plan my days how I want. I'm not chained to a desk for 40 hours a week. I get to structure my life in a way that feels aligned with me. And looking back, the signs of quantum recalibration were all there. My routines had been disrupted. My emotions were louder than ever. Old habits and fears resurfaced. Opportunities and challenges kept showing up at the same time in ways that didn't make sense to me at first. I got a life coach during that time too, and that really changed the game for me. I'll be doing an episode on mentors and life coaches in the future because they can make such a difference. She helped me get to where I am today, and I couldn't be more grateful. All of this to say, if you're in the middle of your own fire, in the chaos, or watching everything shift around you, know that you're not stuck and you're not powerless. You're in the middle of a quantum recalibration. Life is clearing space for the next version of you. Notice the signs, name them, and lean into them instead of resisting. Pay attention to the patterns, the emotions, and the moments that feel chaotic. They are the breadcrumbs showing you where growth is happening. Most importantly, take care of yourself along the way. Slow down, reflect, protect your energy, and give yourself permission to imagine the life you actually want, even if it feels super far away. You have the power to move into that life, step by step, decision by decision. I promise you, the storm won't last forever. And when it settles, what emerges on the other side is stronger and more aligned with who you are meant to become. Remember, you're capable of handling the fire. You're capable of showing up for yourself. And when you do, you'll see just how much power you really have. Until next time.